is very important for all of us. As we grow old, we must always be conscious of the need for us to make retirement plans, and we want to discuss that this morning. We have the MD of Aridon Homes with us this morning, Engineer Omotayo Oyorokun. Good morning, Engineer Oyorokun.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. What's a relationship? Relationship, please explain that to us. Relationship between mortgage and retirement.
Okay. There's a very big relationship between mortgage and retirement because we see most of our civil servants today who eventually work in government, and when they retire, they struggle a lot. And even our actors, our actresses, and I tell people we all can be super successful, but we can all plan for our retirement. Even you'll be surprised that someone who is rich today can retire tomorrow and they nosedive. Everyone is going to nosedive at some point. No matter how rich you are, you're going to nosedive. So when you nosedive, you want to make sure you are not falling to the bottom of the pillar, the last end of the pillar. You want to nosedive to a point where you know that, okay, if I'm going to spend another 30, 40 years on it, I am very comfortable. So with mortgage system, which has been very underrated in Nigeria, it has its challenges. And that's why people like us are saying, you know what, we've traveled around the world, we see how this thing works. We see how people even abroad, our Nigerians in diaspora, don't take advantage of these things. And we see that even with the education there, people, you see, I tell people don't come to Nigeria after a while. They say they don't want to come home. It's because, number one, they didn't keep in touch. Number two, I'm very honest with you, they don't even have anything to fall back on. All right? So the same mistake people make here, people believe everything is free abroad. And instead of them to have plugged into a mortgage system where the property would have appreciated in value, and they can sell off and come back home and retire to that their 3-bedroom with over £1 billion. Some of them feel, oh, housing is free. This is free. Everybody's looking for free. Listen, you can never go for free things and be rich. You will suffer in retirement.
Okay, and so that informs why people like you are in this business. For your own company, Aridon Homes, what makes this very comfortable for you and for Nigerians? Because we have a whole lot of companies that are like yours in Nigeria. What's the uniqueness?
The uniqueness about our company is that we've decided not to just be a real estate company that is just doing it for the money. By God's grace, I've been doing this for the past 15 years, both in Nigeria and in other countries in the world. And I tell people I'm getting to a point in my life now where I'm impact-driven than money-driven. By God's grace, so many years ago, I traveled out of this country, and I did spend up to 5 years before I said I was coming back to Nigeria. That people built this place. Can I go back to Nigeria and build my country, even if I'm going to build it for the next generation? You know, we have that problem here where nobody's willing to sacrifice. You know, I looked at the Margaret Thatcher of yesterday, the Bill Clinton of this, they were not liked. I tell people, most of our heroes were not liked during their time. All right, they sacrificed. Today we're talking about them. There are so many opportunities and things that Nigerians are not leveraging on that I felt, you know, I had to come back home and start preaching the gospel of these things, because by God's grace, like I said, I'm in the real estate office for 15 years. So if I'm going into mortgage, that's not where I should be going to. I should be doing more high-end products, and which is what our company does. We have a high-end product. We have properties in Dubai, we have in Lekki, we have in VI. But I decided, you know what, over the next 15 years, I think I want to leave something more of an impact and help our government. You see, there are a lot of opportunities in Nigeria, but I can tell you for free that our government, that through lack of communication or strategies, do not know how to push some of these ideas. So people are chasing infrastructure. Everybody wants good road. But I can tell you there are opportunities elsewhere where they cannot afford to bring everything into fold. So one of the opportunities is the mortgage system.
Okay, let's talk about take a look at the economic situation in the country.
Okay.
So let's talk about the best retirement plan for the people now, not just the civil servants.
Okay. Now, when you look at the economic situation of the country, this is why mortgage should be the #1 thing on everybody's agenda. And I'll tell you why. You see, mortgage is the only reason why that's something that can give you the opportunity to pay for things little by little. in an economy like this, where you don't have cash down. You know, I'll give you an example. I have a grandpa who bought a property or mortgage in Ikorodu through the Lagos State government scheme about 2005 or 2008, and they bought it for 2 million naira, a 2-bedroom flat in Ikorodu. Today they are retired, and they told me to put the property up for sale, and we are selling it for 45 million.
From 2 million?
Yeah.
That's because of the location?
Well, every location, we're talking about 20 years, developer will come there, and before you know it, appreciation will go. So imagine if my granddad did not make that wise decision in 2005 to go for that property, all right? He's retiring now, and we're looking at 45 million.
Oh.
All right? It will be far better than his colleague that they retired together. So that's just what I'm about to do. I've seen it practically, all right? I can tell you, even at my very young age, I've invested in properties through mortgage system, all right, that have grown to a portfolio of over $1 billion naira. So I'm not talking about what I've not done myself. And I tell people, you won't have all the money, but you have to be strategic for you to grow.
Is mortgage business not better with government than private companies?
Well, mortgage system, we are not even the ones running the mortgage. That's why I said, I feel pity for people in power sometimes, because as much as they're trying to push all the agenda, they can't push everything. And there are areas where some of us have said, you know, but even if the government does not have the energy to push this, let's show people that, see, there are some people taking advantage of this opportunity, let's make it available to all. And that's what mortgage is all about. You see, we are not even the ones providing the mortgage. The mortgage is going to be provided by the government. The money is there. Let me give you an example. We have the Bank of Industry and Bank of Agriculture in Nigeria. You see people hardly talk about them. And trust me, the millionaires and billionaires are taking advantage of them. The poor man does not even know how to apply. Because of what? Lack of information. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we're doing together this morning, to try and educate people that, see, there are some, don't let's all go to this side. There are opportunities that you can explore, and that's what I intend over the next few months to educate our people about.
Okay, so what can Iron Homes actually facilitate for because in terms of education and in terms of opportunities, just like you said, most of these opportunities and education are there, but people are not aware. But a company like yours could actually bring this to the fore.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you a good example. If you're working with the government, especially the federal government, you have access to over 50 million naira in terms of what you can claim with government. And if you're working at the federal level, you can claim it as low as 8%. If you're working with the state government, you have access to about 30 million naira worth of housing fund. That you'll be surprised, I'm sure, most of the people working in government, there's something we call housing fund deduction. You see, this deduction, by the time you retire, most people don't use this money. And that is what you need to claim the mortgage. Government keeps taking this money from your account. And at the end of the day, you retire, you can't even claim this money back. But if you had used this money to get a mortgage, whether you have a house or not, and that's the mistake people make. Oh, I have a house already, so why should I bother? So we are saying, use the mortgage scheme to plan for your future. All right? So what we're looking at as a company is saying, you know what, let's educate the people about the opportunities. I'm telling you, at the moment, for example, we are working with Gateway Mortgage Bank. We're working with the Federal Housing Fund. There are so many opportunities the CBN has created. And that's one of the reasons why, as a company, I decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to be developing over the next 1 year, over the next 5 years, 3,000 homes across Lagos, the Southwest. And we're going to be starting with about 100 houses around Shiro here in Abeokuta. And those 100 houses will be given to people on mortgage. So as a company, we are saying, you know what, let's not focus on the iron products we do in Lekki and other places. Let's look at a situation where we can create opportunities. And I can tell you, even the government, people in the mortgage scheme are approaching some of us. And I can even share some of the bottlenecks with them. Some of us will be wondering, why do we have housing problem in Nigeria? I will tell you, there are so many bureaucracies why we have housing problem. Number one, the Federal Mortgage Bank that provides this housing system, this mortgage system, all lands in Nigeria belong to the government, not the federal government. It belongs to the state. So the federal that can give you mortgage does not even have a land where you can build a house. So it's high time some of us who are in the private sector to come in. I said this, 90% of America was built by entrepreneurs. Politicians only came in to regulate us.
Okay, for those that are not civil servants, what advice would you give them to access the mortgage rooms and the criteria for them to look at for?
Okay, for those who are not civil servants, mortgage is open to everybody. Should I surprise you? If you live abroad today, while you are waiting to save your money, do you know they give mortgage to Nigerians living in diaspora? The Gateway Mortgage Bank. So it's available to all Nigerians no matter where you are living in the world. So whether you are a private person or a civil servant, as long as you are ready to speak and work with us, trust me, at the end of the day, we will put you through how you can get a mortgage. I can give you an example. We have people who are in the diaspora who got a mortgage through us, and what they pay is peanuts. And do you know the beauty about it? When you save in future, you can pay it off. You don't have to wait the number of years to pay. And that's what rich people know that poor people will still continue to struggle about. They know how to use all these little things. Can I buy this house now on mortgage? I know I'm expecting some money in 2-3 years. I'll pay it off. You know, but I've used the mortgage at that time at a cheaper rate to get into the market. All right. So we have to be strategic if we want to be successful.
So even for us here in Ogun State, many people don't even know that exists. I mean, your partnership with Gateway Mortgage Bank.
Yeah.
You know, how does that actually work practically? I'd like you to break those things down, especially for civil servants in Ogun State.
Yeah. For civil servants in Ogun State, no matter where your housing fund is going to, one of the major things you need to do is to make sure that you, number one, find out who is collecting your housing fund. And no matter who is collecting it, the Gateway Mortgage Bank is ready to move your portfolio to them, as whether to the federal government, whether to the state government, the housing fund is going there. They are going to work with you to say, okay, as long as you are paying, or they are deducting this money from your salary. If you are a private person and you don't have the housing fund contribution, there's a way they can work with you within 3 to 6 months to structure you and look, okay, bring your pay slip forward. Let's look at what is affordable. So you go through what we call mortgage approval, pre-approval, before you can even get the mortgage. Okay, let's look at your finances. You're a business owner and you're also working. Can we look at the income from the business? Look at the income from your salary. There's a way we match it together and say, okay, we think you'll be able to afford the house of this price. So usually there is no one size fits all to it. They have to do an assessment on you, whether you are working in the private sector, you live abroad, or you live in, you're a civil servant. An assessment has to be done on you first. And that's the opportunity we're opening up to people that say, see, we are looking at building 100 homes. I'll shock you. When the government built the house in Kobakwe, all right, over 1,000 homes, it was oversubscribed. Should I shock you, those who bought it? Diasporans. Those who bought it, the rich guys. They bought it for less than 10 million. They are selling it for 25 million today. You see, rich people will continue to be rich because they have information.
Well, probably because the amount you have to pay, the upfront, it's on the high side.
Usually it's not. It's about 10% of what you, because government will tell you bring 10%, at least for us to give you that kind of money. At least bring 10%. So if you're buying a house of 15 million, for example, a 2-bedroom, or a 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom of 20 million, just give us 2 million, and we will fund the other process of it.
Civil servants can afford.
Is that what Ayudan Homes also offers?
Yeah, Ayudan Home offers that. You see, but we offer that through the Gateway Mortgage Bank.
Okay.
We are not saying, oh, give us money to build. No, we have the cash flow. We are ready to build. All right. But what we're saying is, you need to work with the Gateway Mortgage Bank through us. We have our client base. All right. Do you know the funniest thing? They have a database already of people who are contributing and need these houses. There are over 10,000. All right. What I'm doing, I can go straight to Mortgage Bank and just say, you know what, the people who are ready, bring them on board. 100 houses is not enough for people looking for houses in Nigeria what's it called? Looking for houses and ready to to move in. I'm telling you, Nigeria has a deficit of over 100,000 houses. And let me shock you, the Northerners take advantage of this mortgage scheme than the South. The South, we are too educated and we feel we know too much. And we don't. The Northerners, do you know Gateway Mortgage Bank is funding projects in the North? Gateway Mortgage Bank in Abeokuta, the northerners are coming to say, please give us mortgage. All right? Southerners were too, sometimes, look at even the student loan. The northerners are more on it than the southerners. You know, maybe it's the level of, you doubt everything.
Okay, is it our education that makes us doubt things like that? Or?
I think lack of trust naturally in government. I think people have doubted that things can work in Nigeria. And I always say to people that for you to survive in this country and for you to make it in this country, you have to be positive. You have to be positive. You can't be negative and see the good of this land. You can't be clouded with your pains and let your pains overshadow you and see the good of Nigeria. It's not possible. It doesn't work together.
Many people also want to avoid risks because with homes like yours, a lot of people are likely to say that it's a big risk, you know, running business with mortgage homes and stuff like that. What makes Aridon Homes clearly different from the rest in terms of your partnership? Because you mentioned a credible outfit, Gateway GMB, Gateway Mortgage Bank.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what people really like to hear, to actually go into business with you.
Yeah, you see, what makes Aridon Homes different is that I'll tell you some of the challenges. Even the Gateway Mortgage Bank product, they give people money to go and build houses for low cost, and you know, an average Nigerian, they disappear. They use the money to go and marry 2-3 wives, and they don't show back. And you see the land will be vacant. The difference with Aridon Homes is saying, government, hold your money. We will build it. We will deliver those 100 homes. They will see the houses physically, just get their pre-mortgage approval ready. Once we finish, we give them the key. They approve their mortgage, deal is done. So we are changing the whole story because the government has faced a lot of challenges. I've sat down with government officials and they're telling me, we do, sometimes we're confused on how to go about this housing crisis because they give people money, release money to them, they come with a budget, they go, they develop few houses and they disappear.
If you do that, how long will it take?
We are hoping to deliver these houses within 1 year to 18 months. Some of them will be faster. You understand? But we hope to deliver the first set because we're going to be doing it in phases of 20. All right? And we're going to be delivering in phases of 20. So we hope that the ones after the first 20 will be delivered within 6 months to 1 year.
And the ones you deliver within the next 1 year, will they be in carcass or?
Oh, no, they are going to be semi-finished.
Semi-finished. Break it down.
Okay, let me break it down. Very good. That's a very good question. Thanks for asking that. I was hoping you would, but that's a very intelligent question. Let me explain this. You see, when people buy houses, you can buy houses in 3 phases. You can buy what we call carcass, you can buy semi-finished and finished. All right? Now, you see most people, even the big construction companies, when you see their chart, they are developing a property, you see the structural engineer, MEP, they break it down, those are handling different stages. What they are telling you is that there are different levels to the finishing of this property and there are experts handling it. Now, because of the current price of materials in Nigeria, most houses, even the one government did in Kobakwe, they are all semi-finished. But semi-finished too has levels to it. Levels, for example, what we are providing, let me stick to what we are providing. So we are going to be providing houses that are fully finished, both exterior-wise, they are finished. Windows are fixed already. There's already POP. All right. So people will only be focusing on their tiles and their doors. And I'll tell you why. The reason why is, you see, when it comes to finishing, is one of the most expensive part of properties. I tell people, if it costs you 20 million to get to roofing, it can cost you another 20 million to finish the house. People don't know that. Finishing is more expensive. Sometimes finishing can be ×3 of the amount you use, depending on the quality of what you want. So we don't want a situation where we build houses for people and feel it's not affordable. For example, some people want to use 60 by 60 in their living room. They prefer using 40 by 40 in their rooms. You know, they want the living room area to be good. So we are providing, semi-finished, you can now determine how you want to finish it. And we said these are government work at low cost, so they can gradually in phases. I could remember my father when we built our first house there, it was not finished. We moved into one room and he built from one room, gradually over 2-3 years, we completed that. But if you see the exterior, you won't know that it's not finished. So the whole exterior, everybody's environment will be looking wonderful in an estate. And before you know it, You can now decide how you want to finish the inside yourself, what you want to add to it to make it better. And the good thing about this is that this property is not too far from Abeokuta. It's going to be based around Shiun on Obafe Road. Trust me, it's a prime location, 33 kVA power line. We are hoping to build one of the best low-cost housing estates in Abeokuta. Okay. Trust me, we have an estate called Emerson, along Lagos Abeokuta Way. If you've seen Emerson Park before, then you know what I can do. Or we can do as a company.
Okay, so we can actually take that to the bank.
Yeah, trust me. Go and look at our existing estates.
Okay, we've been hosting Engineer Omotayo Oyeyekun, the MD of Adrian Homes, I beg your pardon, and his company has promised so much. We hope to see you in the days ahead, and maybe some of us will really have reasons to do business with you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, we'll take this break. When we come back, we shall quickly look at, I think probably the world of sports chat. We can just do like less than 10 minutes before we move on to trending on the program this morning. Stay with us.